fight is something I stayed away from. Because I'm a person who doesn't like conflict. And this year I found out that it doesn't even have to do with conflict. So I decided to join it. Artfight is something that runs throughout the entirety of July. The basic concept is people attacking each other with art. But like the attacks is drawing each other's OCs. The event starts on July 1st and today's July 17th. But it's better to get started late than never. So let's join. This is the website. We have two teams. This year it's Team Seafoam versus Stardust. As you can see on the color, I'm Team Seafoam. I already made... I just found this on my leg. As you can see, I already made a little profile. As for now, these are my OCs. I'm not gonna go through all of them, but I'm gonna show you the ones that got attacked. The first one that got attacked is actually my main character. She basically has an affinity for water. I told people that they can draw her in a bathing suit, and one of them did. Ta-da! This attack was submitted by chronicallyartistic. I love the painting style, as well as the lighting and the pose, because it's bringing across a certain kind of emotion, like she's longing for something in the water. I don't know how to describe it, it's just pretty. Thank you very much. And that's all of the attacks for now. Let's finally join. I need food. I'm hungry. Random, but this is one of my favorite baked goods. In German it's called Amerikaner, which basically means American person. One of the characters that instantly won my heart was this little dude here. This is his entire design. He's obsessed with aquatic life. Instant win for me. Dedicated to his work. Forgetful when it's not about fish. I am in love. He's a marine biologist that likes to collect and raise sea life in his home. I gotta draw that somehow. First of all, let's set the mood. Alright, let me start thinking of a concept. Let's sketch out him as a character at first. I love these glasses. Sleeves are rolled up. Hands, I'm gonna worry about that later. Damn, he got some boots that I would never be able to walk in. And let's not forget a little devil tail. I believe this is some kind of bandage thingy. Alright, now for the composition, it might be good to take a reference pic. I have to think of how to do this. Standing here would be quite boring. I need something in my hands, an item. This kind of looks like a fish tank, but there's something missing. Let's use this as a rim light and this as a light. Let's just kind of try it out. Oh, maybe I should turn it around like this. Forget about that. Let's try to sketch out my favorite pose. This is roughly the pose. Let's transform it into him. Let's not forget his tail. Maybe it's, yeah, it's going around his body. I don't think he's collecting like regular fish. Maybe something more special. Ooh, I want to put this in there. I don't think you can keep them in containers like goldfish, but this is for the sake of my art. I can work with this, right? I like the composition so far. I don't do line art, I just make a sketch and I just kind of erase the insides a bit and we're left with this. As you can see, I already added some base values and now I want to try to shade it a bit. Okay, let me first create some kind of gradient. So we go from this to this and now let me add some shadows on top and then I'm gonna erase some parts. Now it is time to add some color and we're gonna do that with overlay. And the most important color missing is, of course, blue. Oh, let me choose linear burn. Well, rendering takes some time. I experimented with the shading, with the colors. I added some purple areas because I love to use purple for shadows. I wish I had more time to fine render everything, but I think the rough rendering looks great. You know, I spent about 2 hours on this one already, and I think I'm making good progress for that. It is time to work on the background a bit. I'm actually gonna open up a new canvas for this, because now we're gonna make a few fish tanks. The background is going to be blue. Let me add a little gradient. I'm gonna show you how to make really easy water bubbles. Just make a few circles here and there. Use a darker color and paint in these circles. Maybe a different shade of blue. Select the erasing tool and just erase the inside. Maybe leave some white areas. Then just add a bit of bloom. And you have pretty decent water bubbles. Let's have a bit fun with brushes. Opticon. Looks a bit like foam on the top. Why not? Oh yeah, a few light streaks. A little bit of nebula up here. The fish are pretty rough, I know. Let's make a second one. Gradient again. I love to pick the light brushes because they're... Oh, okay, maybe we have some kind of sea snake in here. This is the sea snake. Ooh, marble. Ooh. Have to make it brighter, way brighter. And let's make it an overlay. Let me add a few more bubbles. I have made 2 aquariums so far, and I'm gonna show you what I actually want to do with them. Add the first aquarium. Here it is. And then we just insert it here, blur it, and then just play around with the colors a bit. And then let me just add a little frame, put some color on top maybe, blur it. And there we have a first aquarium. And with this method, I'm gonna add a couple more. It took me 3 hours and 43 minutes in total to complete this. I'm gonna put this to a stop and post my first attack. Attack guide. Okay. Oh, you can also post crafts. Oh, I'm bad with names. Marine bio... at work. This is great. I think this is good. There he is. Character ID. How do I get the character ID? Ah, size. Half body, full body. I'm gonna play it safe and select half body. Let me look at the examples. Oh, okay, it's not a rough sketch. Color? I don't know. I think it counts as clean color. Shading. Fully shaded. I'm pretty sure that that's correct. Background. Does this count as a scene? I think it does count as a scene. I think it doesn't count as polished. Okay. You're finished. It's already a few days later, but now at least I can show you that they commented and they love it. Moving on, we do have 10 days left. Next character is actually from one of my mutuals. She actually encouraged me to join Artfight, and now of course I have to attack her. She made it hard for me to pick one because all of them are amazing, but turned out it was easy after all because not drawing him would be a huge missed opportunity. I really want to take some fancy reference pics. Here's proof that I actually play the violin. I think that's enough proof. Let's go. Just now I was like, oh, he's 28. Oh, he's not 28. First of all, I love his hair. Drawing it is gonna be pretty fun. To portray him correctly, I need to know the backstory. So he's basically earning his money as a bard. He's playing the violin and he's had a pretty rough childhood. When he was little, he found a violin just lying around and tried to play it. And as anyone who's played the violin before knows, it's hard. Especially when you try to get a sound out of it. One day his violin playing gets overheard by a boy and he basically tells him that it sounds like shit. But the boy actually knows how to play the violin and teaches him. Years pass and the two became inseparable. And then they got into a big fight. And long story short, he ends up making him not alive anymore because he has some kind of curse going on that makes him lose control. However, after some time, this exact friend disturbs one of his performances in a tavern and is probably trying to end his life. And he should have died years ago. So that's not good. And she noted, my goodness, I went overboard. I don't think so. The more story, the better. I'm probably gonna choose a scene where he plays in a tavern, probably a dimly lit tavern at night. There's another really funny coincidence. This shirt is the closest that I have to his design, and I bought it last week. And I literally wore this at a concert where I played violin. Like, how? But it makes it even better to get proper reference pics. Let me make some warm light, maybe not that close. A quick reference guide for anyone who doesn't know how to draw. Violin posture. The violin is on the left shoulder, not on the right one. The bow is in the right hand. I often see the bow hold drawn like this or like this. But the actual bow hold is this, kind of like this. The pinky's on here, the thumb is there. Keep the violin at a 90-degree angle. Have your palm face you, and the bow should be here, not here. Definitely not here, because it sounds like this. And it should be straight and not like this. There's a bit more to it, but that's just a little crash course. If you don't play the violin, it is okay to draw the posture wrong. But if you do play the violin, I'm just kidding. It's okay. It's hard. I have high expectations for myself. Okay, funny enough, my own violin lesson is in 10 minutes. Let me just get a basic one at first. Maybe something like this. I don't know, just basic violin poses. And hopefully there's a good one that I want to draw. First of all, I want to draw the actual character. The first picture is probably the one I'm not going to choose. Look at my face. But I do have two favorites and I cannot decide. This one has a more interesting perspective, while this one looks more expressive. Let me sketch both of them. Let me sketch the first one. Yeah, foreshorten perspective and stuff. It's doable, but it's hard. This is already looking better. Ooh, I can make his hair flow. Okay, this is 100% better. This time the canvas is horizontal, so just as before, I sketched, erased some parts of the sketch and refined some parts, and that is my way of getting a polished sketch. This obviously still needs a lot of reworking, but I can already add some color. The background is going to be darker, and I want some stuff to be in the foreground, but I don't know what yet. Let me Google tavern. There's so much AI. I have another idea. Maybe the background is actually lighter. There's windows or lights in the background, kind of like this, but I still want it to be nighttime, so it's probably like lanterns, but I don't know yet. Let me already add the colors. Oh, I forgot his chest window. I love how he has a similar one to Kaya. I wanted to draw his eyes closed, but look at those beautiful bright purple orbs. How is it called in English? Die Wirbel. These things are brown here. Pretty. Now, of course, I want him to be darker than the background, and I'm simply gonna experiment with color modes. And I'm gonna choose multiply, but let's speed it up a bit. And let me give you some violin played tavern music with it. Polishing and rendering is always such a non-organized process for me, because it's just figuring things out in the process, getting new ideas, and that goes on up until the very end. I didn't really change much in the process, except for maybe adjusting the violin, the bow position, and tiny stuff like that. I added some light effects here, some shadows there, some blurry parts in the back, and now the finished version still has its flaws, because it only took me 5 hours. It's alright, it's fine, I like it. My painting style is looking at the big picture, because if you zoom in, it is rough, but that's not a problem. That's just my art style, and I like it. Let me post it. Okay, let's attack. The title is I Love Bards. Probably gonna change that later. To pick a nice thumbnail. Content filter, no, I don't think so. I hope so. I think this counts as half body. I still don't know if it's polished, but I don't think so. Okay, I have to change the title. Okay, I think this one is good. Friendly fire. Ah, I see. Friendly fire only brings 20% of points. That's fine. Let me attack. Oh god, I love how these two contrast each other perfectly. Okay, this was the second attack and we have July 23rd, which means if I want to make 5 more, I have to speed up a bit. This is a little sneak peek of the third attack. The user unfortunately didn't write me back, so I don't have their consent to put it in my video, but you can check it out if you go to my profile. Next character. It's going to be a challenge to draw all of this, but a challenge that I'm willing to take on. The Moon Protector. Yes, please. I want to draw the moon. She's a loyal and passionate fox who loves indulging in vain things like jewelry and makeup. I love jewelry because it's so sparkly and glittery. Okay, we do have a little staff here. At least I think that's what it is. It looks like a hairpin or a dagger here, and I think it's able to be connected to a pole so that it's an entire staff. You already know what comes next. Reference pics. I do not own a lot of jewelry. Oh god. But I have this, which is self-made. I don't know, maybe it will look pretty, as well as some earrings. I know that she has fox ears. I just want to get a proper reference of how these look in lighting like this. Let's see if this lighting is smart or bad. I don't know. It actually does look pretty cool. The idea that I have is that the moon is behind her and she's in front of it with this weapon. No idea if this is a good lighting choice, but experimenting is the key to success. Apart from me looking like I'm about to cry, this is fine. Okay, this might look a little too stiff. I think this one's mostly gonna be carried by the design, because the reference pics themselves look a bit underwhelming. Those facial expressions, oh my goodness. So, basic concept. The moon, character floating in front of it with a weapon. I love how flowy her design is. Flowy designs always look good when you make the character hover, because everything floats like whee. I actually don't need that much brainstorming here because I already have an exact picture in mind and now I just have to bring it to life. This design was so fun to draw, even though it is pretty detailed, but since it's so detailed, I can really make use of all the design elements. Usually I get bored adding the base colors, but this time it was pretty relaxing because the outfit is so detailed. And now I'm gonna show you my shading process a bit. I colored the line art because this is the uncolored version and there's just way too much contrast. So I colored it. Without the clipping mask, it looks like this. I'm gonna merge that down. Now, I wanna do some basic shading, and by that I'm gonna add a multiply mask. I want the light to come from the front and a bit from the top. So I just erased the areas that I want to be illuminated. Now I probably want to add more shadow on top so that I can add proper rim light, like the light that's coming from behind. Because the actual colors themselves, if I color pick them, are pretty high up here and highlights will not stand out. And I also have to decide how bright I want the moon to be, because obviously the highlights are gonna stand out less if the moon is too bright. But yeah, this is the basic shading that I used for the last three. Okay, this is by far the longest one so far, because yeah, the outfit is pretty detailed. But I can't complain because it's an amazing design and it was actually pretty fun to paint it. I added a picture of the moon in the background. I think remixing pictures is fine. And I made the blue gemstone on her staff glow a bit. I hope that's fine because it looks cool. We have some stars and galaxy dust at the edges. I edited the colors a bit afterwards and this is the finished thing. It wasn't even planned, but it really fits Team Stardust. Let's attack the moon protector. Let's upload her thumbnail, kind of like this. You know what? I'm gonna choose polish for this one because it did take me over 5 hours. I think that's okay. Submit. Character number 5 is this one. She's a human who developed earth magic after a big storm hit her home. I love that origin story. It's short, but tells me just enough. And I love the design. She's really pretty. And most importantly, she has magic. I want to draw magic. There's many different ways of how earth magic can be displayed. Usually it's either people throwing dirt around or like magic green glowing particles. Her magic looks like it's of the green sparkling kind. So green sparkles it is. I want to portray her using her magic. And I still have to think about how I can do earth magic too. Those are still up here. Okay, I don't want to look like Shrek. Alright, this is a hard one because I have only my hands and no props. But I think I can manage to do it. Okay, either bending style. Ha! But I don't think that fits her character. Or like more of a gentle style. And I want a more emotional one. Kind of like one where she's just standing still. And maybe with a different hand position. I like all three of them. Now I just have to decide if I want it to be action-packed or not. Okay, I don't know if I want to make this a full body, half body, or bust shot. No, not bust shot. I think this counts as half body, but I think it's going to be a half body. I chose this pose because I can really focus on the emotion. I kind of want the magic to circle around her, and the center of the magic is right above her hands. Maybe I'm gonna make her look surprised. And maybe there's wind that's kind of throwing around her jewelry. Really pretty choice of jewelry, by the way. I love to draw sparkly things. The whole mood of the painting is just green, and I think that fits perfectly. I played around with the magic a bit, making a crystal-shaped light in her hands, as well as some Axis magic swirling around her. The only thing I actually almost forgot was her bracelets, because I was about to submit the attack and then I realized. Of course I added them, and now I'm ready to attack. This is the thumbnail. I really wanted to include the magic as well, but I want her face to be recognizable. It's a half body, everything else should be correct as well. And let's submit the attack. Ah, look at the beautiful color range I have here. Today is July 29th and people are still submitting characters. And luckily I refreshed the page just in time to get this beautiful character. This is Hanna. She's a sweet and introverted water fairy and her design is truly stunning. I love it. I'm in Team Seafoam. What better character is there to draw? I want to do something different than standing. So let me get this ladder, or more like a rock or a swirl of water. I can just sit like this. It looks very cramped. Okay, let me just try it out. No, I don't like the hands. Oh wait, okay, no. Wait, I actually don't need to sit down. I don't know what I'm trying to do. I actually like the one with the hand most, because I can make some water magic appear in her palm. This wasn't... No. Okay, yes. This one is great. And as always, let's transform it into the actual character. It's already attack 6. I can't believe it. I can try to sketch the first pose. I love this angle of drawing faces because it especially shows off long ears like these. So this is kind of the sitting pose and I can like make a water swirl that she's sitting on. I like that idea, but let me try out another one. I like this one as well. The water's kind of circling into her hand. We have two very different moods. First one looks like she's in a deep thought because she's sitting and she's looking down. And the second one looks like she's desiring something or dreaming of something by looking up. The second one is probably fitting her character better. Also, the pose is a bit easier to draw. So after drawing a complicated design, I'm drawing a complicated design once again. But it's just so pretty. I just had to. And it wasn't that bad. It was pretty relaxing. The pose I chose is pretty good. I like it. And what I love about this color scheme is that the colors are pretty muted. They're not highly saturated, which is great because I can build up on that. I color picked all of these. The background color is almost the same as well. That's the first thing I want to change because I want to make it blue. This back here is part of the wings that will come later. We also have some water swirling around her. But now, first of all, let me focus on the lighting. In the reference, you can see two, well, actually more than that, but let's boil it down to two sources of light, which is the blue light from the front and the white light from the side. I have to change it up a bit because the water that's gathering in her hand is probably glowing blue. So I'm gonna reverse the blue and white lighting on the character, but not on the arm, because as you can see, the blue is in her palm. For the white light, I'm actually going to erase shadows. On the reference, it's the blue light, so it's coming from the left. I'm first gonna start off pretty rough, because otherwise we're not getting anywhere. Here I have to use my imagination, because my arm is blank. At the moment this doesn't make any sense because the light is coming from the left and then here it's coming from the right. Let me smudge the big areas a bit, but not all areas because we really want some sharp edges. Then we can lower the opacity. I'm gonna add an additive mask. Let's choose blue. So, oh god, that's pretty bright. Ooh, that's way too bright. Let's turn down the opacity a bit. Okay, still not a fan. I'm going to erase the leg. Well, the lighting on the leg. But it's okay. Trusting the process is pretty important here. I spent some time on refining the whole thing. I didn't really change the composition much. Maybe some details here and there, but overall, I just spent a lot of time refining everything. I think it took me around 4 hours, but I'm not completely sure. Yeah. 4 hours and 15 minutes. I managed to do most of it yesterday and spend an hour or so today. I love playing around with water effects, especially blue and green lighting. They're my favorite colors, so I had a great time. As always, I kind of readjusted the colors just to give it the finishing touch. This time I do in fact not have a background, but that's fine. I think this counts as polished. So this is the thumbnail, 61.75 points. Submit attack. And there she is. What's really interesting is that this year Artfight ends on August 3rd. And it's getting exciting because it doesn't show the points anymore. It just shows to be announced. We all know that Team Stardust is gonna win, but it really doesn't matter. And the Team Seafoam badge looks good on my profile. Actually, the crown would kind of disturb the color scheme, so go ahead, Team Stardust. Please win. I don't want yellow in my profile. I'm just kidding. I have to show you something because I got another attack. I wish I could show you my first reaction because it was kind of like this. I can't reenact it, but I'm genuinely so happy. This is my OC Lin drawn by Elko and he's perfect. Look at those hands. I mean, excuse me? When did you become an art god? You never told me. This is so in character and so fitting. I have found inner peace. This is perfection. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna show my very last attack. This one is my first revenge and it contains 3 characters. Go check out my Artfight profile if you want to take a look at it. And that was Artfight. That's it. Also, hello to some of the people that I attacked. Thank you for coming over here. You have amazing characters. Congratulations, Team Stardust, on winning. Team Seafoam, we fought well. It was a really fun time for me. I'm so happy that I actually managed to draw 7 entire pieces. If you participated too, I hope it was fun for you as well. I hope you had fun watching this video. And yeah, have a nice day, evening or night, and see you next time. Bye! Team Stardust! Ow! Congratulations!